Welcome to MCCT, Microcrawler Capability Test. That's where we test and compare the driving performance and capability of micro trucks and microcrawlers from 1 to 18th to 1 to 24th scale. Trucks in stock condition as well as highly modified and upgraded ones. The trucks have to pass through 10 different tests. We'll get either points for their results or their performance will be graded, and the final scores will reveal the most capable microcrawlers. We check their climbing ability, descent performance, their tilt angle, their performance in overcoming easy and difficult obstacles, and their low speed modulation and low speed driving performance. Check the description for details of tests, scores, and mode of grading. Now let's start and present this episode's test trucks. In MCCT episode 29, we will test the Furitek FX118 Wagon, which comes out of the box with a brushless motor. The Wagon does have a wheelbase of 160.7 mm and a weight of 395 grams. It runs on 1.2 inch 58 by 20 mm tires and has portal axles. It has a brushless outrunner motor, the Furitek Venom, and the Furitek Lizard Pro ESC, and it runs on a 2S 600 mAh LiPo. The FX118 is very similar to the Hobby Plus CR18P and CR18P Evo models. It shares the axles and tires and wheels with those. The Wagon does only have one speed, but the central transmission is very similar to the CR18P Evo 2-speed transmissions. In the end of this episode, we will do a detailed comparison of the Wagon with the Hobby Plus CR18P Evo Harvest, which looks very similar. And now let's check how the Wagon can climb. Test number 1. Climb on a rough surface. 45 degrees, no problem for the Wagon. 50 degrees, not either. And 52 degrees, it falls. But it can go super slow with its awesome motor and ESC and seems to be able to climb it, but falls again. Come on. But it falls again. So the FX118 does really have problems already at 52 degrees on a rough surface. Heavier wheels will for sure solve this problem and improve the performance, but we test the truck here out of the box, stock truck. Come on, it's super cool climbing that slowly, but no matter how slow it climbs, so far it could not get to the top. Maybe now. Come on, Wagon. Come on, but it falls again. So it was not able to climb 52 degrees, but it could nearly climb it. So we give 51.5 degrees and 6.5 points for the Wagon FX118 in test number 1, climb on a rough surface. And under 46 trucks tested so far, that's place 21 for the FX118 Wagon in test number 1. Test 2, climb on a smooth surface, 45 degrees, no problem for the Wagon. 50 degrees, no problem. 51 degrees, seem to be easy either. And 52 degrees, it could not climb it on a rough surface. Will it be able to get to the top on a smooth surface as several trucks do? Yes, 52 degrees. On a smooth surface it can do it. and 53 degrees. It's slipping. Even with super slow wheel movement, it does hard. Come on, Fury Wagon. $53 degrees. Come on. But 53 degrees, finally too much. So 52 degrees and 7 points for the Fury Wagon in test number 2, climb on a smooth surface. And under 46 trucks tested so far, that's a shared 10th place for the Fury Wagon. 9 trucks share place 10 here in test number 2. Test number 3, descent. Go down, stop, up in reverse again. 45 degrees, no problem. 50 degrees. Not a big problem either for the Fury Wagon. And 51 degrees. Lifts its tire. Come on. But finally can do 51 degrees and 52 degrees. Stop, no problem. But then it tips over. Going down super slowly, stop, no problem, and then, even with a super smooth low speed performance, it tips over again. 52 degrees. Finally too much for the Furitek FX118. So 51 degrees and 3 points for this at test number 3, descent. And under 46 trucks tested so far, that's a shared 15th place for the FX118. Tests 4 and 5. Tilt angle to the left and to the right. 44 degrees. And 43.6 degrees. Here the results of tests 4 and 5 for the Fury Wagon. To the left side 44 degrees and 6 points for this. And to the right side 43.6 degrees and 5.8 points. And that's place 14 for the FX118 Fury Wagon out of 46 trucks tested so far. Test number 6, the flat side of the Hill of Branches. No problem at all for the Fury Wagon, and 2 out of 2 points at test number 6. Test number 7, the steep side of the Hill of Branches, the most difficult test or obstacle of MCCT. A lot of trucks are not able to pass this step, but no problem at all for the Fury Wagon. Absolutely fantastic performance. Best seen so far. 10 out of 10 points at test number 7 for the Furitek FX118. Test number 8, the flat side of the Hill of Pebblestones. No problem at all for the Fury Wagon. And 2 out of 2 points at test number 8. Test number 9. The steep side of the Hill of Pebblestones, super difficult, and the Furitek is struggling too. So it's not super easy for the Furitek, but if it gets the right line, it is easy. It shows awesome performance here, but it seems by far more difficult to climb for the Furitek than the steep side of the hill of branches. There's always a bit of slipping, but after taking the first step, it's easy. So not 10 out of 10 points here, but top performance, 8 out of 10 points at test 9, the steep side of the hill of pebblestones for the Furitek FX118. Test number 10, low speed performance and modulation, the last test of MCCT, and the Wagon does have a brushless outrunner motor, the Furitek Venom, and the Furitek Lizard Pro ESC, and this performance is unrivaled. Unbelievably good low speed modulation. You can go nearly as slow as possible, what means their wheels do hardly move, you hardly see them move, and the truck still goes. But it does also have a lot of punch. Nearly no throttle input, and the truck moves. Unbelievable. FOC technology, field of control, and that's absolutely awesome. Additionally, you can adjust the settings in the app to maybe even improve those. But check this out. Unbelievable. Maybe you could improve the reverse performance a little bit via app, but this is absolutely top. Perfect or nearly perfect. We don't have a perfect, so 4.75 points for the Furitek FX118 Wagon in test number 10, low speed performance and modulation. Maybe there will be a truck with brushless outrunner that performs even a little bit better. So we come to the final score of MCCT, episode 29, the Furitek FX118 Wagon. Here again, all 10 tests performed and all points gained, and we see the Wagon has absolutely top results in all tests. Good results in climbing tests 1, 2, 3, and very good results in tests 7, 9 and 10. Wow, that's all in all a point count of 55.05 points. And now let's compare the Furitek FX118 Wagon with the Hobby Plus CR18P Evo Harvest, which looks very similar but doesn't have a brushless motor, but a brushed motor, a 2-speed transmission, does not have oil-filled shocks and doesn't have servo axle. And here we see the Wagon and we see the CR18P Evo Harvest, and that's super interesting. The Harvest even climbs a little bit better than the Wagon. Tests 1, 2 and 3, the Harvest gets more points, can climb steeper or go down steeper, but the Wagon in the tests of the tilt angle, tests 4 and 5, wins. The Wagon does have oil-filled shocks, while the CR18P Evo Harvest does only have very poor and cheap friction shocks. And in the climbing tests 6, 7, 8 and 9, the performance is nearly on par. Both perform absolutely perfect on the steep side of the hill of branches, and both perform very good in test 9, the steep side of the hill of pebblestones, 8 versus 7 points, but but judgment is subjective. Maybe it's even on par. And the Furitek Wagon wins in test 10 modulation low speed performance. The CR18P Evo Harvest does have top performance for a brushed motor, super good, but the Wagon does have the brushless system with the Venom motor and the Furitek Lizard Pro ESC, and here the Wagon gets 1.25 points more than the CR18P Evo Harvest. And we see in total the Wagon gets 55.05 points and the CR18P Evo Harvest only 0.70 points less. So if there wouldn't be the difference in modulation in test 10, the Harvest, the CR18P Evo, would even have won. That's interesting because the Wagon does also have a different frame, a low center of gravity frame, and the Harvest still performs better in the climbing test. But those are both trucks without modification, tested out of the box. Both, of course, can be improved, modified, and the performance will improve too. However, the CR18P Evo Harvest was the best truck out of the box tested so far, and now the Furitek FX118 Wagon does even have more points. So the Wagon is on place 6 out of 46 trucks tested so far. The CR18P Evo Harvest is now on place 7, and this means the Furitek Wagon FX118 is the best truck out of the box, the best performing micro truck today. And the CR18P Evo Harvest is nearly on par. The big advantage of the Wagon is the awesome low speed performance of the brushless Outrunner motor, and it does come with oil-filled shocks, what improves its performance too. So both awesome trucks. And that's it now for MCCT episode 29, but watch out for the next episodes of MCCT, microcrawler capability tests. There are still a lot of trucks to be tested. MCCT will be back.